Hello, I'm Charlie Brooker and you're watching Newswipe, a programme all about what's been happening, like this.
Dyslexic protesters brand Blair a raw criminal with bald on his hands. Ben Kingsley and Gordon Brown vow to kiss and make up with Taliban as Clinton and Miliband reach first base. And world gasps as nerd unveils most expensive rectangle in history.
But we start by looking at the Haiti disaster.
Yes, recently the news has been filled with scenes of unimaginable horror and unbearable suffering. On the whole, the reporters themselves have been remarkably stoic in the face of events that would traumatise anyone. Some actively stepped in, leading to astonishing scenes like this, in which CNN health correspondent and neurosurgeon Sanjay Gupta cared for an injured baby in the street.
Obviously, faced with scenes like this, the world wanted to do something to help.
In the US, 3 whole presidents came together in scenes which were vaguely reminiscent of a Doctor Who 3 Doctors special.
America's aid contribution was far greater than any other country, a disparity which so enraged right-wing blowhard Bill O'Reilly he complained about it on his nightly Festival of Bellowing on Fox News.
The benevolent nature of China has pledged little more than $5 million in cash and aid. I mean, how generous is that? Russia pledging 1 mobile hospital and 20 doctors. Putin's another Mother Teresa, isn't he?
Come on, Bill, every little helps.
That great humanitarian Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, sending 1 plane full of relief supplies. You know what, Hugo? Keep your stupid plane.
No, fly it to where it's needed.
To be fair to O'Reilly, he did go on to urge his viewers to donate even more money.
And in astonishing scenes carefully outlined on the informative Russia Today, Hugo one-plane Chavez went on to blame America for causing the disaster by testing an earthquake-inducing superweapon.
Yeah, it's that this time it was only a drill, and the final target is destroying and taking over Iran.
Modern news always needs to fashion events into a compelling narrative, and the Haiti story was no different.
Once it had shown us distressing scenes of overrun hospitals and rubble for several nights, it needed a fresh angle.
And so began the search for signs of conflict.
Obviously, a massive aid effort organised at short notice in a country whose infrastructure has been destroyed is going to be a logistical nightmare, and there was much coverage criticising the slow distribution of aid. But one of the things holding up the aid was the fear of violence, which the news also seemed fascinated by. The moment footage of sporadic but inevitable scuffles arrived, it was seized on as evidence that the whole of Haiti was about to descend into barbarism.
But with aid struggling to get through, the country is spiralling out of control.
Haiti now is not just a tinderbox of simmering desperation and anxiety. It's possibly just one step from something very ugly indeed.
At times the news seemed to frame the threat of violence not as a possibility in any society that's hit by a massive disaster, but as something unique to Haiti itself.
There's this ugly undercurrent, sadly, within Haitian history, which has the ability to turn, it has the ability to quite literally fight for survival. Hence, you're seeing not just doctors and aid workers on the streets, but riot police too.
The ugly undercurrent in Haitian history presumably distinguishes it from Britain, a nation whose own history consists of millennia of uninterrupted peace. Still, whatever, here's some angry foreigners.
What he says is hard to understand. It almost doesn't matter.
If you say so.
Sky occasionally seemed curiously disapproving of people forced to scavenge for anything they could find.
They scramble over an assault course of destruction to get at anything they can. Watch this. And this. Perhaps the US military should. They don't seem to think there's a problem.
Yeah, well, maybe they've got a clearer idea of the bigger picture than you have. Just a thought.
In fairness, dislocation could be a factor here. The reporter wasn't in Haiti, but in Britain, revoicing images seen on a monitor.
Images are always open to interpretation. Take this shot from another Sky News report.
These people aren't even vainly hoping for food. They're fighting over cardboard boxes to use as shelter.
Are they fighting, or are they throwing the boxes to try and break and flatten them to use as shelter and sunscreens, as we saw them doing in other reports? Check out the guy in the green t-shirt and his mate in the stripy blue top. They're clearly having a laugh batting these boxes around. Surely that's the very definition of being good-natured in a crisis. Sky weren't the only ones to focus on the violence. On the BBC's News at 10, George Alagaya stood live in the street to say,
There have been increasing signs of tension and anger on the streets here, but I think to call it all criminality or looting, I think that would be an exaggeration.
But apparently reporter Matt Fry hadn't got that memo.
Looting is now the only industry here, and this is the new rush hour of Port-au-Prince. Anything will do as a weapon. A hacksaw, a stick, and of course all the machetes and guns that you can't see. It's just a foretaste of things to come.
The occasionally feverish tone of some of the coverage angered DJ and world music guru Andy Kershaw so much he wrote a furious article for the Independent newspaper about it, accusing the media of treating the Haitians like savages. Perhaps surprisingly, some of the most measured comments about the use of violent footage came from Fox News.
We've seen video of sporadic violence, but the camera can sometimes enlighten us and it can sometimes distort the truth.
Yes, there are these isolated incidents of violence, and the cameras tend to gravitate towards those and highlight them, magnify them because of that. The people of Haiti really are dealing with this with an admirable dignity and sense of calm.
Casting scavengers as looters and highlighting a supposed descent into lawlessness doesn't just make news reports more dramatic.
It also has the side effect of benefiting private security contractors.
Some of them quickly leapt online to offer their armed defence services to those seeking to rebuild Haiti, as we can see in this depressing clip from MSNBC's left-leaning Rachel Maddow's show.
The company that registered HaitiSecurity.com is literally offering that on their website. High-threat terminations.
Just to be clear, the vast majority of BBC, ITN and Sky's coverage of the disaster has been exemplary.
They also undoubtedly helped raise a lot of money by repeatedly plugging the appeal details. Everywhere you looked there was a message telling you to call DEC.
It was a bit like looking at post-it notes on Ant's fridge.
Speaking of aid, in the wake of any major catastrophe, people ask why God didn't intervene.
This time, however, Sky were there to capture the glitzy moment. God himself turned up and announced he was going to do something about it.
I don't know who's available, but I will get a record out within 7 to 10 days.
ITN feverishly watched as Simon Cowell assembled a charity single after someone less powerful than himself.
Some bloke called Gordon Brown, apparently, asked him to help out.
We were told an impressive roster of top stars, including Jalus and Lion Girl, would appear on the single, although Sky's Cade Burley seemed most excited at the prospect of one phallocentric performer sticking his oar in.
Nothing like a bit of rod, is there?
The song picked was R.E.M's Everybody Hurts, a soaring and soulful number about the possibility of hope, but a choice that caused heated debate on the set of Live from Studio 5.
The song is quite deep, isn't it? It's quite...
It's
I thought it might have been more of a uplifting kind of like inspirational kind of song.
What, something like Come On Eileen, yeah?
By the time they put all the footage and that on it, it must probably make you cry, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably will.
I think it's a little bit too sad.
How can it be too sad, though?
But it's such a sad thing that's going on. I think perhaps people need something a little bit uplifting, a little bit inspiring to say, we can get through this, we're going to help out and all come together. And instead, I'm just like, God, it's just so depressing, really.
God, it is depressing. Oh, wait! Look, don't miss Joe Swash!
Joe Swash, there he is, hello!
While the children debated Simon's song choice, across the pond, even bigger stars than Joe Swash were gathering for a glittering live 2-hour telethon.
The lineup included literally every musician you could ever want to hear, and Sting. Hollywood did its bit too. Brad Pitt beamed down looking like a man from the future.
In fact, the cream of Movieland was there, manning the most star-studded call centre in history. There was Steven Spielberg off Jurassic Park, he was there. Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts.
Even Taylor Swift off the VMA Awards.
Hello, this is Taylor Swift.
Oh, you're Taylor. I'm really happy for you. I'ma let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
As we've seen there, celebrities can be incredibly useful when it comes to raising huge amounts of money for charity. But are famous people always the best champions for every cause? Here's journalist Marina Hyde with her personal view.
Celebrities have always been involved in the news to some degree, and you've often seen people in the past, attach themselves to particular charities and causes. But I think the last 10 years, it's become completely ridiculous. When Tony Blair had that Cool Britannia party shortly after taking office, and you had the Gallaghers there and various other sort of people who have now passed rather into the where are they now files. I think that's a real mark of where celebrities began to be brought into almost every debate.
Does Mr. Blair meet your fashion standards?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
I prefer John Major even, no, really.
What's fundamentally wrong with a lot of celebrity activism is that they are simply not experts in the subject. They crowd much more intelligent voices out of the discourse, and often there can be such a huge dissonance between their lifestyle and the cause they're promoting that it totally undermines their message.
The first day of a new job for the former Spice Girl, Geri Halliwell, has got off to a rather bumpy start.
Geri Halliwell is one of these ridiculous modern sort of confections, really, a UN goodwill ambassador, which don't change very much except perhaps the definition of goodwill. I think to say that Geri dumbs down the debate implies that she can even frame the debate at all.
See, I believe that everybody deserves to have control of their life.
About 10 years ago, the presence of a celebrity, say, in a war-torn area, might be used as an excuse to mention more about what was happening there. Increasingly, it now feels as if those kind of current events are being used just as an excuse to talk about the celebrity. So when Geri goes to visit Nepal, far from us talking much more about Nepal and her campaign or whatever against violence against women, you just end up seeing her take in various pictures, various outfits, and the sort of plot device for why she was there is entirely forgotten. When she came back, it became just the excuse for another round of Geri Halliwell's sort of talk show appearances, where she went on to the cosy daytime sofa programme This Morning, Housewives' favourite, and said, you know, it was really important having that diplomatic presence there, that Western presence.
My presence apparently gave the confidence for that new Prime Minister, and it's a coalition, so he's under a lot of pressure to speak out about, you know, violence against women, because there was a Western presence there. He suddenly thought, OK, this is cool to do it.
You think, hang on, a Western presence used to be like Madeleine Albright or just someone from the State Department. It's now Ginger Spice. The International Day of Peace is a sort of UN-backed initiative for there to be peace across war zones for one day where people can go and do things like get vaccinated. Jeremy Gilley is a filmmaker who didn't actually come up with the day, but began a campaign to get it better recognised around the world, which he's made 2 documentaries about.
In July 1998, I decided to make a film about peace.
His campaigning's achieved a lot. However, very simplistically, Jeremy Gilley's main tools appear to be the use of celebrities, who he seems to think is to be some sort of magic key that will unlock world peace. I've actually complicated his vision there.
This was unbelievable. Angelina Jolie was sat on my sofa asking me what she could do.
There's this spectacular cringe-making scene where Jude Law and Jeremy have just been having their photos taken there, and in these kind of matching T-shirts that say peace one day, like those Mummy's Little Helper T-shirts you get in gift shops. And Jude says, so where are you going next, mate? And he goes, I'm going to Afghanistan. He goes, oh my God, when? Can I come?
Where are you going next?
I'm going to Afghanistan next.
Afghanistan is when? July?
Huh?
July?
What's that?
Afghanistan?
Yeah, Afghanistan, yeah.
That's astonishing. I mean, how did you even start?
Yeah, you come with me if you want.
In July? I'm not doing anything in July.
Well, you could come.
How long will you go for?
About 8 days.
Which 8 days?
About July 20th, July 28th.
And you think, oh my God, I know Afghanistan's in trouble, but just how in trouble has just been underlined to me. He takes Jude to Afghanistan, where they spread the word about Peace Day.
There is now a Peace Day. Will they tell the children on the 21st of September that it's Peace Day?
While they were out there, Sky News consulted Jude Law about the situation in Afghanistan.
Have things changed there since you last visited, Jude?
The fortification of the whole city has expanded by 2 times, maybe 3 times.
You think, my God, a Sky News asking the star of a remake of Alfie for a sort of, you know, strategic assessment of how the war's going in Kabul. I think very rarely there will be an exception, someone like Joanna Lumley, who clearly, when she was supporting her Gurkhas campaign, knew more about the subject than most of the people in front of whom she appeared, certainly more than the government minister with responsibility for the issue.
We're all agreed that we are going to be able to help in the formation of new guidelines. So that'll be wonderful.
She was one of those people who was able to bring about change, and I thought she did brilliantly. But for every one of her, there's 100 others just sort of lumbering around the world, I think perhaps often making things worse.
You know, sometimes you see something that makes you realise the fusion of news and celebrity really has gone too far.
I'm John, I'm Edward, and you're watching Sky News. For the latest, I'm John and Edward.
Yes, these days you're as likely to bump into a celebrity on a current affairs show as you are down the Groucho.
Actually, more likely, because they wouldn't let you into the Groucho, you pleb.
Stars are everywhere. They're invited to explain public health campaigns.
You're here to tell us the pale is good.
Pale is grief, yes.
It's a good message to all viewers.
They're patiently asked their expert opinion on Gordon Brown's chances.
I think he's dogged enough to try and stick it out. But If the momentum goes, it keeps on going the way that it does, he won't be able to survive.
They even queue up to flog any old tut on the Andrew Marr show.
From one Australian megastar to another, Rolf Harris. I'm going to be talking to Rolf in a moment, but first a quick blast from Christmas in the Sun, his latest musical foray.
Christmas in the sun, come on down and join us for a Christmas in the sun.
Yeah, it's making current affairs look a bit shit, really.
Celebrities, of course, get an easy time of it compared to politicians.
Put Sky's well-respected Adam Bolton opposite a politician and he won't shy away from asking difficult questions.
But stick a star in his island and tickety-tock, it's bum kiss o'clock.
Now Sir Anthony Hopkins is showcasing his own paintings at exhibitions in London and Edinburgh.
Yes, it seems Sir Hannibal's done some paintings so marvellous even noted critic Adam Bolton struggles to describe them.
They're sort of two sorts, it seems. They're realist landscapes and then they're the more sort of fantastical dreamscapes.
To be fair, that is probably the 9th best painting of a purple elephant I've seen since primary school.
I just follow my instinct. I paint in a childlike way. I don't have a sense of... I have no training in perspective.
No.
So I just paint as a...
Rich man with time on his hands?
Did it help you playing Picasso? Has that helped you as an artist?
Yes.
Jesus, Bolton's being so deferential, it's as though he's mistaken him for some kind of ancient forest god.
Sir Anthony Hopkins, Wolfman, Thor and artist. A lot to look forward to. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
5 News is the logical extension of all this starry ring-licking. Often it's not like a news bulletin at all, more like watching a boy reading Heat magazine off an auto cue.
For our latest celebrity report, Louise Redknapp explains how she's hoping to give glamour a good name.
Hi, I'm here in Selfridges in London where we're preparing for the really, really great garage sale.
The sole benefit to using Louise Redknapp as a celebrity reporter is it helpfully marks the ultimate low.
I mean, really, nothing could possibly be worse than that.
Tiger 4! Okay, if you like, Jed, but you're going to love tonight's show.
Yes, you are, because we're going to be hearing from the boys later on, plus all the stars from the National TV Awards.
We'll be asking if you would choose laughs over looks, and we'll also be hearing from Simon Cowell.
We're live from Studio 5!
I take that back.
Yes, Live from Studio 5 is the first news programme broadcast directly from hell. Hosted by a large-breasted duckling, an incoherent footballer and a 200-foot wall of searing white tooth enamel, it's a nightmarish parade of one lightweight item after another, like being force-fed marshmallows by a bastard in a glittery hat.
Incredibly, this actually counts towards 5's news output, the stuff it has to broadcast as part of its public service remit.
Still, they do cover the issues. Issues like, are hairy legs horrid?
Why on earth would you not shave your legs? I just don't get it.
Is Ricky Gervais funny or hilarious? And should you give money to the homeless or just f*** them off?
Well, give them a sandwich, give them the time of day. They're human beings, but don't give them cash on the streets.
Sometimes there's so much heated debate you can't even hear it.
Generation, my generation,
there's a real double standard that goes on.
Wells, we used to show
I remember
the Wells on our
that is
curtain
it is too much, and also there's a strange double standard that goes on.
Largely, though, Studio 5 covers celebrities, and it really cares about their well-being.
David Hasselhoff, what can we say? The Hoff, what's going on with this fella? Reports from America say he's been taken to hospital because of his drinking again even. Now, apparently 17-year-old daughter Hayley had to raise the alarm when she found him totally sozzled at his home in LA. It's the second time she's had to do this. Why does he keep doing this to his daughter? He's got to get a grip on him, surely.
Still, if you want entertainment news, where better to look than an entertainment news show?
But surely if you're an entertainment news show, you should at least attempt to deal with the news aspect and not just act like an unconditional ass-kissing machine.
For instance, those of you with long memories will recall last week we told you the story of Dappy from the group N-Dubs, who'd made headlines by sending threatening texts, even though he was helping front a government anti-bullying campaign at the time. He and his group were dropped from the campaign, which was quite big news in the tabloids, although Live from Studio 5 didn't seem that interested.
No idea why. Coincidentally, the following week, the band were guests on the show.
They were interviewed live on air and quizzed for 5.5 minutes with not one mention of the text story.
Instead, they were asked which Brit nomination they wished they'd got.
Best group, best
breakthrough. Best breakthrough as well.
There were other equally probing questions.
Yeah. So what have you all been up to? Enjoying yourselves?
Holidays for
me and
Dappy.
Holidays.
Sent any texts recently? Still, it's not surprising they were treated like kings, because when you do ask difficult questions, as ITN did last year when they questioned the band's suitability to front the anti-bullying campaign in the first place, you quickly get your knuckles rapped.
By putting yourselves up as a champion for children...
We don't put ourselves up as that.
You have by taking this role as ambassadors.
But bullying, for me...
From what I'm seeing right now, you're putting my band in a very, very uncomfortable position by attacking them.
I don't feel I'm attacking. I'm asking them how they can justify selling lyrics to children, which are so explicit. That's a perfectly justifiable...
We're not here about that. We're here about an anti-bullying campaign.
It may not seem important, but as celebs get increasingly involved with issues, they're also increasingly able to get away with the sort of thing a spokesperson never would.
The relationship between stars and the press is a one-way street. Put us on your show, plug us silly, but don't act like journalists or we won't come back, and neither will any of our other showbiz friends.
But perhaps the worst thing about all this celeb slurping is it's boring.
I mean, who really gives a toss about Sunita's gold boots?
It can sometimes be entertaining when the news gets a famous person on, especially if they genuinely grill them.
Just ask the Newsnight viewers who watched in astonishment as Mr. Issues himself, Stingford Stingington Sting, wandered unwittingly into the Paxman Thunderdome.
Do you ever feel uncomfortable travelling between your various homes in various continents at enormous carbon cost? Do you ever feel uncomfortable about that?
I think it's an amusing red herring for the media to blame celebrities for the global crisis we're in. But
you're not being blamed for it, you're just being accused of hypocrisy, that's all.
Yeah. Ha! Time for the week in bullshit. Vigilance! And the Home Office wipes away any remaining post-Yuletide cheeriness by changing its terror threat Facebook status to severe.
But what exactly does severe mean, Home Secretary?
This means a terrorist attack is highly likely.
Shit.
I have to emphasise the fact it doesn't mean an attack is imminent.
Shit?
All I would say to the public is that they need to be vigilant.
Vigilant, OK, vigilant. What should I be vigilanting towards?
Can you reassure the public that you haven't got anything that is saying an attack is about to happen, some men are on their way right now?
Well, it's very important. The highest level of security alert is critical, and that means an attack is imminent, and we're not at that level.
All right, so we're here, not here. I'll be this scared or vigilant.
In the absence of any hard information regarding the threat, Sky contented itself with designing different graphics for the Fearoscope, ranging from pedestrian election night blandness to radarific Robocop HUD-style targeting Wizzo-vision.
They do like their threat level indicators on Sky. They've also got an environment f***ometer and a Cameron probability gauge, which recently rose several Bullingdons to 38%.
Channel 4 News went one better by plotting the historical ups and downs of the Screamometer on a graph. Now, if you're finding the threat thesaurus confusing, don't worry, implementing it's simple. Just calibrate your alertness pistons in line with the on-screen threatometer, so if your watchfulness nodes are currently set to 3, turn them up to 4.
Meanwhile, speculation over what had caused the terror hike was rife.
The papers dreamed aloud about hijacked planes, Afghan conferences, Osama bin Laden, Irish militants,
giant spiders, Skeletor, you name it.
Sky highlighted the increasing threat of female suicide bombers, which rather complicate the traditional terror profiling strategy.
Police and security officials tend to spend more time investigating young men of black and Asian origin.
Is it just me, or does that look like an album cover?
Anyway, chances are you're still not sure what you're being threatened by or how scared to be of it.
To clear things up once and for all, what you need is the supreme clarity of a Channel 4 News interview with a top security expert.
No specific target, no specific group, no specific threat. What are people supposed to make of this?
Well, I think what people can make of it is basically this is a very clear message that they need to be more alert and more vigilant.
So be more alert and more vigilant about nothing specific.
It could well emanate from Pakistan, or it could emanate from somewhere like Somalia, or indeed Yemen. It could come from overseas, or it could be a group within the UK already here in place.
What are the chances of anything coming from Mars? Anyway, in summary, you should now be severely, not substantially, alert. Keep an eye out for something specific or nothing specific, male or female, Arab or Western, imminent or just highly likely from Pakistan, Yemen or down the road. And don't panic, but do be vigilant to this level, not this level, this level. And if you're not sure where that is, look it up on your colour-coded fearometer. And remember, don't get it wrong or the terrorists have won.
Well, celebrities on the news are one thing, but what happens when the news makes its own celebrities? Here's American miserablist and drunk Doug Stanhope with his view.
Doug Stanhope, and that's why I drink. Some people try to be celebrities. Other people have celebrity thrust upon them by the news. Charla Nash had it thrust upon her in the form of a 200-pound chimpanzee named Travis that ate her entire face. The news get a hold of the 911 call, which is absolutely horrific and terrifying, and out of some sense of moral obligation, a public need, they played the 911 call relentlessly.
Please hurry up! He's killing my girlfriend! He ripped her face off! He ripped her face off?
Which is the responsibility of the news to let the public know. The public needs to be aware of impending dangers. A hurricane is coming your way. There's a blizzard. A gunman's on the loose. Or perhaps brazen primates are eating the faces of suburban housewives. So they played the 911 call over and over across the country until Charla Nash was an American celebrity.
She even has her own security guard to prevent the tabloids from taking photos.
Kyle Maynard was a kid who was a high school wrestler. He made the news because he happened to be born without arms or legs. Again, there's a very pressing need for the news to make us aware of these problems. Point is, he gets on the news, and now he's a celebrity who's doing mixed martial arts. Not very well. He's had one fight, and he was pummeled, as you'd expect. How can you ever look good punching this kid in the head repeatedly in front of an audience? They package these stories as human interest stories. It used to be if you were born without limbs or a primate ate your face, whatever, you could go and make a decent living still on the freak show circuit, a carnival sideshow attraction. Step right up. Look at the boy with no arms and no legs, the human manhole cover. He's gonna wrestle Travis, the 200-pound face-eating chimpanzee. Step right up. Prepare to be horrified. It's a horrifying, terrifying event. Step right up. 2 bits. At some point, they decided that was insensitive. So now they put him on the talk shows. Oprah Winfrey, who is the P.T. Barnum of the new millennium. And instead of a freak show, they call it an inspirational story. Next on Oprah, the woman whose face was eaten by a monkey. She's exploited exactly the same way, only now Oprah gets the 2 bits that she should have gotten paid. And they play harpsichord music coming in and out of the piece. And they say it's a triumph of the human spirit. And Oprah lifts the woman's veil to show a poorly reconstructed face and dabs the woman's tears where her eyeballs used to be. That's not inspirational. What is that going to inspire me to do? Oh shit, if she can get her face eaten by a monkey and still go on Oprah, shit, I should get up and sweep off that patio. I'm inspired. No, that just makes me scared to leave the house.
Technology! And a billion geek eyes turn to San Francisco as Apple Emperor Steve Jobs unveils his latest creation in exciting scenes on Sky News.
Nice to see he dressed up for the occasion.
In punishingly dull coverage, Jobbo explained the new gizmo would be great at playing videos and music and blah, blah, blah.
If there's going to be a third category of device, it's going to have to be better at these kinds of tasks than a laptop or a smartphone. Otherwise, it has no reason for being.
Well, yeah, unless it's a big rectangle with an Apple logo on the back, then its reason for being is to milk money from every ponce in the world.
Some people have thought that that's a netbook.
The fools.
Problem is, netbooks aren't better at anything.
Oh, yes, it's funny because it's true.
Eventually, Jobbo revealed what we'd all been waiting for.
That's what it looks like.
Basically, it's an iPhone with increased size and weight and greater futility.
But it's not just an illuminated oblong you can read Wikipedia on. The iPad also functions as a content delivery platform, an electronic burqa, a twat indicator, a nose-braking machine, a handheld air conditioner, a chopping board and a threat level indicator.
Essentially, owning an iPad will be like having the whole world in the palm of your hand. Well, both hands, until you put it down to answer your iPhone, which is basically the same but smaller.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Go away.
Coming up next tonight here on BBC4, we've got the story of children's play with a double bill of hop, skip and jump.